We're back with new details into what really happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Now it's time to take a closer look into what really happened inside the jail where Epstein was. It's known to some as the Guantanamo of New York. Retired NYPD Commissioner Bernie KERIK and psychiatrist Dr. Ziv Cohen are back. Both have spent a lot of time where Epstein was behind bars. So, Bernie, there were reports that he didn't like the conditions that he was subjected to at Block 9. I guess, is that right? Block 9 South, where he was? You've been there. What's it like? Is it really a problem on the inside?
Doc, first of all, you got to remember, this is a guy that came off of a 100-foot yacht, took him off of private jets. They now stuck him in a cell that's 15 by 8, and it's solitary confinement. So, you know, that's a mind-altering experience. Mm-hmm. There's mice, there's rats, there's the horrible food. But most importantly, you know, you hear people screaming, you hear people beating on doors, and it sends you into depression. And that's probably what created these complaints.
He was a pedophile, allegedly. Yes. How are people in prisons and jails treated if that's who they're suspected of being?
Well, in terms of the other inmates, they're going to be the lowest inmates on the totem pole. They're going to be a target. They're really going to have a target on their back. They could be subject to violence, intimidation, abuse. They can even be killed by other inmates. And so they are going to be subject, or should be, to some heightened supervision as a population within the jail.
All right, so there were reports that Epstein was able to gain special treatment while in jail. For example, emptying out the canning machine, spending hours with his counsel in an observation room. Bernie, you know the system. Is that possible? And is it supposed to be allowed if it did happen?
Well, listen, there's a couple things. One, you're allowed the right to counsel. You can see your counsel as much as possible to prepare your defense, your case. That being said, in MCC, it is the most secure facility in the country. And keep in mind, when they take you out of the cell, they need a first-line supervisor. They need 2 COs. You're shackled like Idi Amin. You have handcuffs at the waist. You're shackled to your feet. Your feet are cuffed. The entire wing has to close down while you move. So I don't see much special treatment in that capacity. And also, the officers, they're not going to put themselves out for a guy like this, knowing his profile and that everything is monitored and watched around him.
Let's go and come on back here. Sure. Court documents show that Epstein signed a will 2 days prior to his death from an apparent suicide. Right? It wasn't a suicide note, it was a will. What might this tell us about his frame of mind? I just heard from Commissioner KERIK that it's a depressing place to be, especially for a man who came off a big yacht.
Absolutely. So, you know, anytime even a patient, let alone an inmate in stressful circumstance, anytime somebody writes a will as a psychiatrist, I'm interested. If someone's preparing a will, are they planning a suicide? Are they suicidal?
All right. So, finally, August the 10th, the day that many will remember forever, Epstein is found dead, found unresponsive in his cell, roughly 6:30. We don't know he's dead yet, but we know he's unresponsive. It's been reported that he's then transported to a hospital and then pronounced dead there from an apparent suicide. So let's come on.